Welcome back. This series of studying the book of Genesis. We have come up to 8 chapters. Today we are going to see chapter 9. Chapter 9 is very important because it is the first covenant, first commandment, first law coming in, and the first generation. So very important things are happening here. So we'll read from verse 1, Genesis 9. So God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth." So this is the command he gave in the beginning to Noah and his sons, "Be fruitful and multiply." This command was given right at the time of creation, right at the time of creation of Adam and Eve when he kept them in Garden of Eden. Now he again tells, so the plan of God for mankind is to be fruitful and multiply. So the plan of God is only multiplication, the human race to grow, and there is a way there, the possibility of dealing with Satan, but that comes in the revelation later. But initially, being fruitful and multiplying are the two important virtues. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast on the earth, of every bird of the air, on all the move on the earth, and all the fish of the sea, they are given in your hand. So verse 2 talks about this. So we should know that animals, though it's being lion or tiger or elephant or some of the snakes we fear of, so God has given command or over a power over all the living things on the face of the earth. This truth should be known to us very clearly. Then verse 3, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. So here comes the first introduction of non-vegetarian food. Initially, I told you in Genesis 1, when you closely watch, God was a vegetarian. God created mankind for man to become vegetarian. All the herbs only, he says. He didn't say about animals. But here, the first thing he is saying, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So when it says every living thing, it talks about animals, birds, and fish. And I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. So he includes herbs again or additionally. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So here is the first time, or even in Adam's case, he mentioned it, that life is in the blood, because when Cain murdered Abel, the blood was crying out unto me, God said. So here he said, you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is in blood. So its blood in any life carries life, or blood is the life. So we all know very well that whenever we shed a lot of blood, our life is in danger. And plus, this truth shall be known when we study about body, soul, spirit. When we go into much detail about so many things, we will know. But here one truth we will know. Surely for your lifeblood, I will demand a reckoning. Understand this. For your lifeblood, God will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast, I will require it. And from the hand of man, and from the hand of every man's brother, I will require life, or the life of man. So that's why when we pray for a greater harvest to come, we demand God to give more souls in place of the souls which are murdered or persecuted or caused to shed blood. Because, when St. Thomas came to India, we said because he was martyred, his blood shall cry out unto God for souls. So, India is going to be one of the countries, one of the Christ worshipping countries, and one of the superpowers, and one of country known is because of this remarkable incident. He gave and gave life. There are other apostles gave their lives in other countries, but we count Thomas here in this country. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man's his blood shall be shed. See that. For in the image of God he made man. And as for you, be fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply in it. When God desires to multiply humankind or whatever he created, even the animals and the herbs, um, he wanted actually the image of God to be seen in man. And we also see that he brings the consequences for man's blood. So, because Cain was cursed because of Abel, and now we are seeing in this passage some more details about that. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, As for me, behold, I will establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, every beast of the earth. Thus I establish my covenant with you. See, first time, okay, there is a general covenant with mankind when he was created. And here, when after all mankind were destroyed, all herbs and cattle and creeping things were destroyed, God brought out a new one, but he says, I will establish my covenant with you. So you also should note, many people talk about the covenant of Abraham because he was called out of Ur, an unknown place, an idolatry place. But however, God loved Abraham and called out, and in his life, so many covenants he makes. When we go to that passage, we will study about them. But I want to tell you, God made a covenant with Noah and his children. I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of flood. Never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. This verse 11 is very important. I want to tell you, recently, I mentioned it earlier, in Texas, there was a flood, big flood. More than 100 lives were lost or died, possibly. So now people, Christians, without knowing that, they are rebuking Satan for destroying them, for destroying with the flood. But it is not Satan who destroyed the flood. Maybe spirit of death came there, but when these people were not careful and they were not adhering to God, coming to God and coming to be children of God, so the consequences of their deeds will be taken. He already said, God, that I will demand a reckoning. So the children are lost, our lives are lost because of the reckoning God calls for. So, where in their home, family prayer, the parents were believers, our children were believers, I do not know. We need to get the record slowly. But I truly believe that we should not say God, Satan for everything. See, the flood comes, water comes. If there were believers, they would have prayed, Oh Lord, do not send that water to us, minimize the. So whenever rain is too much or destruction is too much, I immediately pray, Oh God, your destruction should be stopped through this flood. Do not reckon what we have done wrong. So when we do wrong, God keeps it in mind, and only those lives he takes it. So please be careful while using the word. Never again, when he says, all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood, means it is a fact, it is a truth that we should take care of. We should notice that. So there should not be death by floods. And God said, this is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. So when God makes a covenant, He keeps them and He fulfills them. So we have every right to ask God whenever flood occurs, whenever rain too much we see, we can ask God to be merciful. I set my rainbow in the cloud, and He also displayed such a great thing. So whenever I see rainbow, oh God, wherever the rain is, let it not destroy mankind. I immediately pray. You also need to pray. Because it's on the earth that we can see the rainbow, and it is a covenant, and it is not easily done. Although it is a scientific process, but we know the rainbow was a sign from God. And it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and earth. See the covenant He has made between God and earth, and rainbow is the symbol. It's a very remarkable thing. We should think about it very much in our lives, and we'll adhere to that. Okay, and so please, on the flood time, be careful. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. The water shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. The rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I will look unto it to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature and all the flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. So remember, 4-5 times He uses the word covenant, and the covenant is repeated. If God has made a covenant and He has displayed by a rainbow, He will remember that very much, and God is ready to fulfill. But we do not obey God, we go astray, we commit sin, we do the things which are prohibited by God, then we land into destruction. So mankind has to be very, very careful. He will always look at rainbow. It says, I will look up and I will see and I will remember all that God has made it very clear, and we need to keep them in our mind. Now, there are certain things you need to watch in the next passage. It is Noah and his sons. From verse 18 to 29, we'll read. Now, the sons of Noah who went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham was the father of Canaan. So, notice this here. Ham was the father of Canaan. Canaan became a promised land, and God's descendant could come over there. But Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was populated. Okay, we are all descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. If you fruitfully do the agriculture work, God will give. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. So he didn't take any action, but he went to his brothers and told. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their full shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. Say very carefully, they do use their intelligence to be not seeing the nakedness of the father, but covering that. Now Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, younger, I believe Shem, Ham, Japheth means Ham must be the middle one. He is younger to Shem and older maybe to Japheth. And then, cursed be Canaan. Look at that verse. We are saying Canaan is a promised land that is to Abraham and his descendants given. But here, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brethren. Very sad. Canaan land is cursed because of Ham. And he said, blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. So Canaan is actually becoming a servant in this passage. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So, well matured, 950 years he lived. But we notice here Canaan became cursed one, and Shem and Japheth were blessed by God. So keep this in mind when we study about Canaan. We'll see more about this. So that is Genesis chapter 9. And God bless you. And as you hear this, and continue to watch these episodes in whole of Bible. I do it on the Bible, and now we are doing Genesis. We have come up to chapter 9. So may God bless you. Amen.